What's going on, guys? It's your boy. Today I have with me Loco again.
What's up, y'all? Like he said, it's Loco. We're here back on the channel again.
And, we're just doing who is the strongest member of the Akatsuki, which you might just say, oh, it's Obito. Obito's the strongest. But it might actually be a little bit more complicated than that. So let's just get into sort of the weaker forms of the Akatsuki. Hidan is just not the strongest. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wank Hidan. I don't even think he has a fan base. He just gets sort of shit on by Jonin. I think part 1 characters could handle Hidan, if I'm being honest.
I don't know, man. Like, Hidan is like very religious. Maybe if he brings out his Bible or some shit, maybe God will just like smite down like fucking Pain and Obito. Like, all they got to do is just pray to his Bible and shit like that. It just might be as simple as that. Honestly, he's immortal too. He's immortal. Like, he can't die, like, I don't know, man.
Hidan's immortality is just bad. It's I think Daigo Knight did a video on it. It's just a shit immortality. No one really uses it unless you think Jashin is going to come up in Boruto and say that Hidan was the strongest member, but that seems very unlikely. Kakuzu as well is just not the strongest. He fights Kakashi, he fights base Naruto. I don't know, man, like it's just not happening for Kakuzu. He's not beating Itachi, he's not beating Obito. There's just no chance.
Base start of Shippuden Sasuke negs Kakuzu.
Yeah.
Debate me, fight me.
And
come on now, like.
Yeah, me and Prod did a video called Taka versus the Akatsuki. We pretty much just blatantly prove that even a fresh MS Sasuke is more than likely beating up Kakuzu and Hidan probably at the same time. And even if I'm going to be honest, like the same Kakashi that fought Pain would also give Kakuzu a hard time, I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, unless you want to take Kakuzu's raw durability into account, like, it's not... He's not really going to be doing much.
Nah, I mean, they're cool characters. Like, I like Kakuzu, but he's just not... I just don't agree with his scaling. He's not the strongest, neither is Hidan. Next up is... I see more people talk about these two, honestly. We've got Sasori and Deidara now. Deidara fights the earliest form of Shippuden Sasuke, pretty much. And we just see throughout the series that Sasuke just gets stronger. And whether or not you think Sasuke is weaker without his curse mark, the Mangekyo amp is massive. And he fights Killer Bee, and Sasuke dies numerous times to Killer Bee. And Killer Bee just gets absolutely destroyed by Kisame. And Kisame, it just blatantly admits inferiority to Itachi. So we have multiple layers of people getting weaker and weaker, which sort of Deidara fits into. And he is very impressive, but really the only thing I see people bring up is his C0 at the end. Which, I don't know, like, Sasuke's summoning could still tank.
Yeah, man. I think that Sasori is stronger than Deidara. I don't think Catchdog has the same, the same viewpoint. But they're both, like, they should be, like, relative to each other. Fucking, they're both, like, pretty strong, like, high Kage level fighters, if I'm being honest. They're definitely, like, more of the middlemen of the Akatsuki. That's kind of where they would lie.
Yeah, I definitely think Deidara and Sasori are probably Sannin level. I just have always said this. I think Sasori's highest forms of scaling is sort of weird. We don't know how he fought the third Kazekage. He thinks Orochimaru is actually very impressive. Orochimaru joined the Akatsuki and shit his pants and ran away from Itachi. So yeah, Sasori and Deidara, they are very impressive. They're kind of like the beginning of Shippuden bosses that our characters need to grow and beat eventually. But even then, like, they beat these characters in like the first few chapters, and then they fight Kisame and Pain. They're just not the strongest at all. But I do like Sasori and Deidara. That's just their highest forms of scaling just isn't there. Next up we have Conan. Like, how strong is Conan? Like, I see a lot of people say Conan's pretty strong.
I don't want to downplay Conan, but she's like maybe not even fucking Sannin level, because she got like kind of like beat up by base Jiraiya. We've never really seen Conan do that much other than getting beat up by Jiraiya, like I said, and then later getting like fooled by Obito. Like, the only reason she almost killed Obito in the first place is because she was like studying him for decades, like actual years on end, right? Like, it even took her like days to create that like sea of paper bombs. Like, she had all that prep time and she still like fucking lost. Like, she looked goofy as hell. So, like, honestly, she's, with prep time, you can say she's pretty strong. I don't really think she's as strong as people want to say.
Yeah, I always don't want to downplay Conan too much. She's very inconsistent. Like, she doesn't do a whole lot. And I have seen the argument, well, she just got stronger after a fight with Jiraiya, and that's how she was able to fight Obito. But it's like, imagine if you give, like, a somewhat capable character like Itachi that much prep time. You just, like, think, like, what sort of wonders he could accomplish. And the moment Obito is like, you're dead, she dies in about 2 seconds. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, straight away, instantly. So yeah, Conan's not the strongest at all.
In all honesty, like, I guess you could say she's like pretty decent. I think she'd do well against like some starter Shippuden characters. Like, she'd be able to beat someone like fucking Sakura or some shit.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, she's not like incredibly powerful. She just kind of gets like overshadowed by Pain most of the time.
Yeah, she's literally Pain's like side wife.
The side chick.
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's sort of messed up. It's like her ex-boyfriend's dead corpse. It's like very strange. Conan did actually beat Sasori in that video game cutscene. If you guys want to, you know, you think that's real, like that did happen.
Fuck off. There's no way.
Moving on to Kisame. Kisame, honest to God, is he does actually have a lot of people in the community sort of repping him, and it's for good reason. Throughout the whole show, where B is like introduced as one of the strongest people we've seen, he could probably slap up all the previous people we've mentioned, I'd say. And then this B just fights Kisame and does horribly, like really bad, really bad. And he does get the upper hand a few times, but B came at him full force. Kisame tanked it and then instantly speed blitzed him in the water bubble. And it's only because Samo Hado was being sketchy that he lost the fight.
That water bubble, that's pretty big. It's pretty menacing, you know, like it might be doing some stuff to some like early Shippuden characters, like we said. Maybe even like mid Shippuden. Like he did pretty well against like 7th grade guy. Like Kisame was convinced that his water shark bomb was gonna be able to like take down that Hirodora, but like obviously it's not made of chakra. So Kisame just kind of gets like beat up by. Didn't he get beat up by fucking Might Guy like 3 times in the series?
Actually, no. A 30% clone got, you know, finessed Guy and his whole team, actually, now that I think about it. Took like the 6th or 7th gate to actually take down Kisame. Like, Kisame gets a fat power amp from part 1 to part 2. Kishimoto was like, damn, like, whoops, I made Kisame too weak. Should probably make him a bit stronger, and then just wrote him to be this, like, Jinchuriki Slayer. Overall, Kisame, you know, he has the utmost respect for Obito. He's up there. Like, I think he's number 4. I think he's right beneath the top 3 people for sure. But yeah, he's not making it past Itachi. But the main arguments for sure are the next 3, and this will be like you're like, why is the runtime on this video so long? It's because of the next 3. We've got Itachi, Pain, and Obito, and we should talk about the statement Pain being the strongest member of the Akatsuki. This statement is. We both agree, Loco and I, we've sort of talked about this before, and even just off recording, it might just be the massive Shinra Tensei and the Chibaku Tensei and physical hands, because, you know, that boy Pain, while he was weakened, was fighting, you know, Naruto with his 6 and 7 tails.
I think Pain, like you said, is like the physically the strongest member of the Akatsuki in terms of destructive capabilities. You know, he has 2 of the hardest hitting jutsus that we've seen in like early Shippuden, which are Chaotic Shinra Tensei and of course Chubaku Tensei. Pain definitely is the strongest member of the Akatsuki, but a lot of people say that Obito would be able to beat him, and this is actually like a fair point because Obito just kind of like hard counters everything that Pain has.
Yeah, we definitely should go into Pain versus Obito, because with the next 3 that we're talking about, I don't see any case for Obito beating Pain, and I don't think I've really seen a good case for it, other than like, I don't know, let's say like Pain with some headcanon speed stabs Obito with a rod and completely stops him from using Kamui. That is like the only win con I can honestly see, and even that's so unlikely because Obito doesn't even need to activate his MS, maybe. He just has it like auto on all the time. In the data books and stuff, it says like Obito doesn't fight with his Mangekyo, even though he phases through everything all the time and uses Kamui to teleport around the battlefields throughout the whole series.
So even that even that win con that where like Pain stabs Obito with one of the Renegon rods is dependent on Pain even being able to touch Obito in the first place. So even that is kind of like outlandish to assume, because like I don't think Pain is actually going to be able to touch Obito. Like he can just calmly away to the other dimension if he uses Shinra Tensei, if he uses Chibaku Tensei, if he tries to Soul Steal or some shit like that. If the summonings for whatever reason, if they're too much for him, like Kamui is just broken, bro.
Yeah, and the only other thing I see is like just pressure arguments, you know, Pain with all of his summonings, with all of the paths, and Obito has to stay in Kamui for 5 minutes, and then maybe he could get caught lacking. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think Pain wants to fight Obito in the first place. Like, Pain and Obito, they clearly have different motivations throughout the whole series, and Pain just directly follows Obito throughout the whole time. He's like, they clearly have different plans to what to do to Naruto, and as soon as Itachi dies, Obito's like, go to Konoha now. And Pain's like, okie dokie, and then just does it and dies. And then, you know what's even worse is that Zetsu is like, how did you think Pain could die? And Obito's like, I've got like Sasuke, he's fine. Like, you know, it's just so bizarre. Like, there's no implications that Obito feared Pain and was just using him throughout the whole series.
It's kind of weird that like Nagato would like give up control over the Akatsuki to some like outsider, basically, if he didn't think that he was like stronger than him or that he would be able to beat him, you know, especially because he knows the secret.
Maybe he was under a genjutsu the whole time and Obito's just that guy. Probably not.
Hey, that's a cool theory.
But the real fight is
that's
also,
just a theory.
That's just a Naruto theory.
Thanks for watching.
I think the real argument is like the Itachi versus Pain and Obito arguments. And the thing that makes it really bad for Itachi is that he is sick. Now, Loco and I, we agree on a lot of topics. When we were doing the controversial fights, we sort of spoke about what we agree with. Itachi's strength is definitely not something we agree on. So the next little bit of the video will be us talking about what we think about Itachi. And I do think that a fight with sick Itachi and Pain honestly isn't going to be good for Itachi, and this is coming from the Itachi guy.
So I just want to make one thing clear. I do like Itachi, but like literally every versus battle I've ever done on my channel about Itachi, like he loses.
Yeah.
And this is not an exception to the rule, right? I think Itachi just kind of gets like hard countered like by everything that Pain has. Like, oh, you have Genjutsu that might not even work on the fucking corpses. Like, you have Amaterasu, Shinra Tensei, or the Pray to Pass absorption ability,
stamina.
or the Pain's... Yeah. And the Pains might even be able to dodge that shit, like, just, like, straight up. Like, it's just, like, there's just no way that Itachi is gonna be able to actually defeat, like, the Paths of Pain, you know, like, a lot of people want to highball Itachi, be like Tosca Blade Seal, GG. Like, me and Prodigy talked about this in the video. Like, if you really want like in depth, you can go check that out. It's on his channel. Really, it kind of like a lot of people really like to like say that Itachi is like around like fucking KCM1 Naruto level in terms of like speed and shit. And like this is just completely false, especially like sick Itachi. Because like Naruto wasn't even trying his hardest like he was when he outsped the Raikage. He was like more concerned about Sasuke than anything else. And this form of Edo Itachi should be faster than a live Itachi because he doesn't have to worry about like fucking like his sickness holding him back, and like obviously like his with his blindness he might be able to have like more precise attacks or whatever. I don't think sick Itachi is going to be able to like replicate the same feats that he would in his Edo form. So it really just like it really comes down to like how do you think the Pains will deal with the Susanoo. But there's always chaotic Shinra Tensei, Chibaka Tensei. Possibly it might even be able to be absorbed by the Preta Path of the Renegon. So really I just don't see how Itachi could possibly take it.
The other thing for me that I, will talk about in an upcoming video is that you should be able to absorb the Susanoo with the Renegon. That's just a fact. But what makes this really weird, if I'm going to be honest, is that Itachi did beat Edo Nagato, and Edo Nagato should be stronger than the 6 Paths of Pain. Me and Prodigy have talked about that before. Naruto and KCM says he's much stronger than he was when he fought Pain, and Nagato just bodies Naruto and B at the same time. And then Itachi fights sort of Nagato, Killer Bee, Naruto, and he clearly does the best. He doesn't get hit, not even once. He shows off his Genjutsu prowess. He shows off what he can do with the Susanoo when he's got unlimited chakra and whatnot. But another thing about Itachi that is just very strange against Pain is that apparently the Totsuka blade can't be absorbed, because he just couldn't, like Nagato just couldn't react, and their bodies are on auto counter. So you get this weird situation where it's like, maybe Sick Itachi versus Pain is a better fight, but I just think like if we're using the Sasuke versus Itachi versions of them, then it's just like, Itachi's already got 1 foot out the grave, you know what I mean? He's literally like minutes away from dying, so it's just very disingenuous, like, to the topic to say like, oh yeah, like Itachi's trash, would get beaten by a Kisame. I've actually seen that debate, Kisame beating Sick Itachi. It's like, probably not. But like the Obito thing's weird. Now, I've brought this up, and this is the weirdest part of the video, if I'm going to be honest, because we just said that Pain would absolutely get fucked up by Obito. But Obito is just scared of Itachi. He just is. Like, it's just a fact. He says it numerous times. He constantly is annoyed by Itachi. He has the utmost respect for Itachi, trying to wank him to Sasuke. And you could say like, oh well, Obito's trying to make Itachi look good to Sasuke. But, I mean, the man did think in his head that, wow, he could have killed me. And I've brought this up in a lot of my videos. So you sort of have a weird situation where it's like, Itachi might be able to beat Obito. Obito's just beating Pain, and then Pain might be able to beat Itachi. Or more than likely. I as the Itachi guy, I think Pain would probably beat Sick Itachi. So we have this weird like rock, paper, scissors situation going on, and then we have to try and answer that in the video. Who is the strongest?
Yeah, because I feel like if Kishimoto intended this to happen, like, he's actually a genius. Like, he's a really good writer overall, because like you said, it's like a rock, paper, scissors dynamic. It's like a triangle. Like one person forward counters the other, one of them, and then the other guy just counters everything that they have. Like they really are. It kind of keeps like the balance of power in check, right? Pain is physically the strongest out of the 3. Obito has his Kamui hacks, and Itachi's just fucking. Like, he has all these hacks at his disposal, and not to mention that he's the smartest out of the 3. So
yeah,
I don't think that like Sick Itachi would be able to take down Obito, but like if you make like a hypothetical prime Itachi that doesn't have his blindness, he doesn't have his sickness, and he's still as good with the Mangekyo Sharingan as he was like before he died. You can make a very good argument that he might be able to beat Orange Mask Obito, especially if you give him intel on the on Kamui, on Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan.
Yeah, so it's just like you have a weird situation where Itachi's like sort of getting talked about when he's 5 minutes away from death. Obito just thinks that Itachi, even when they were kids, like Itachi's like, I will kill you. And then Obito kind of laughs and then is like, okay, we can be buddies and kill the clan. And that's just such a strange, like, like, you know all the memes that's like 12-year-old Itachi versus 21-year-old Itachi, and it's like Virgin and Chad, like, you know, like in your videos and stuff. So I would say Itachi would take it with intel even while sick. And with no intel and sick, I would say that Obito should be the strongest man in the Akatsuki, and that's kind of where I stand with the video. But we still do have a little bit more to talk about.
Yeah, so the other thing we need to talk about, I briefly mentioned this already, like, if you give Itachi, like, intel on Obito's Mangekyo, like, it's a completely different story. Like, I don't think, like, if you give Itachi, like, intel on the Rinnegan abilities, it may not make that much of a difference. Like, the gap in, like, power between them is just kind of crazy, like, physical power. I mean, But like especially for Obito, because Obito was already kind of like not necessarily scared, but he was like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea if I were to provoke Itachi in like any way, like if this dude knows more than I think he does, like I could actually fucking die, like. So if you want to make the strongest version of Itachi, like I said before, no blindness, none of that shit, and you also give him intel about Obito, like specifically about his Mangekyo Sharingan and the fact that he has a second Izanagi eye. I think it's kind of packed up for Obito, just because like there's so many things that Itachi has at his disposal. Izanami should work on Obito. Uh, they might be like relative in speed, so he might be able to land enough hits on Obito to be able to create a loop. There's also Genjutsu, probably not like basic Sharingan Genjutsu, but of course like Tsukuyomi could arguably like maybe catch Obito slipping like off guard and shit like that. Amaterasu probably wouldn't work, but like you might be able to say that Obito would have died whenever he got caught off guard by Amaterasu.
Oh, yeah.
when fucking Sasuke used it on him. You might have just been like, oh, he was off guard or whatever. But bro, he was gonna die.
Dude,
he was gonna die.
Obito saying that to himself is insane. Like, we've already seen Obito get caught by Amaterasu once, and he was like, God damn. It wasn't like he went, God, Itachi's trash, and it's a good thing he's out because he was the weakest member of the Akatsuki. He thinks to himself, oh, that was gonna kill me, and that's Obito doesn't compliment people like that. The only person he really respects, he doesn't even respect pain. The only person he actually respects in the Akatsuki is like Kisame. He's really sketchy on his opinion of other people except Itachi for some reason. And if I'm going to be honest, like, I actually do think that Itachi and Obito is a closer fight than people say, just because sick Itachi is literally 1 foot in the grave, about to die. But like that's kind of disingenuous to the topic to say like a live all prep time Intel Itachi would do it, because then it's like, well, that's not fair to Obito. Give him the white mask and give him the Bijou, because that's his strongest form. And it's just like, well, clearly that stomps, and Itachi might not have the stamina to do all that. I think he would bop the Bijou, but Bijou plus Obito is not a fight. I think honestly a better fight for me is that sort of Edo Itachi versus Orange Mask Obito. I'm gonna be totally honest.
So, like you said, it is only fair to give Obito his strongest form as well. I don't mean Jubito. I don't think anyone's debating that shit. Hopefully you're not.
Some people think
Hopefully.
it. I don't.
I better not see any comments about that in under Catch Dogs videos, bro. But like, yeah, White Mask Obito would absolutely fondle any form of Itachi.
And
But
the
Edo
Akatsuki.
Itachi, oh yeah, of course, bro. Like Akatsuki, he might be able to unironically like take on the entire Akatsuki at once. Like
Probably.
That'd be a good video. Fuck, man. Comment down below if you want that video, bro. Me and Cash Dog can do that shit.
For sure.
A better fight is Edo Itachi versus like Orange Mask Obito. But even then, like Obito can still just like trap him in the Kami dimension like forever. And like Itachi's just gonna be like not dying. He's not gonna die, but he's just gonna be like wandering around like forever. Really, I still don't think Itachi would have much, really anything against Obito still, unless you want to give him like full intel. Like that's a completely different story. But like if like in character, both of them, like sure, Itachi has like unlimited chakra and unlimited use of the Mangekyo Sharingan, but like Obito should just be able to like phase right through his fucking Susanoo and like it's GG's.
I do think there is a case to be made that through just visual prowess and Genjutsu, like, because you gotta remember, like, Kamui is a physical thing. It doesn't just protect you from Genjutsu that Itachi might, like, unironically be able to catch Obito lacking. But that's, like, extreme highball Itachi scaling, thinking that his Genjutsu prowess is above EMS Sasuke level and all that stuff. But, yeah, because there's no way Itachi's just gonna, like, go in there and go close range. He always fights a little bit distance, I'd say. Like, even when he saves B and Naruto from Nagato, he kind of retreats just to get a gauge on his ability. He sort of does the same thing with Sasuke. He doesn't send his body in there. He sends a clone or a Genjutsu clone all the time. So I do think like Itachi is all that, but it's going to be tough for Obito. I definitely think it's going to be tough. Yeah, so we can just rank them right now. I'd say generally normally I'd say it does go at the top. We have Orange Mask Obito, and then under that you have Pain, and then under that at number 3 you have the Itachi that is about to die, the sick Itachi that's like minutes away from dying. But I would say that, you know, with Intel and you don't give him his HIV ninja AIDS, Itachi unironically might be at the top, with Obito being second and then Pain being low. As I said before, there's no arguments I can see really for Pain beating Obito. It is very consistent that Obito should be at the top, and you sort of need to give Itachi a lot of the benefit of the doubt to take it.
Yeah, you have to give like Itachi like his best form, all the intel about Obito, and you got to give like Obito nothing. Yeah. Basically, like that's the only way that Itachi can be ever put at the top of the Akatsuki. Even then, like in his prime form, I still say it's like contentious whether or not he'd be able to beat Pain. But yeah, I'd agree with pretty much everything else.
Which is, you know, not bad, because we gave you guys like 12 different ways to scale the series. We've said like Itachi might lose to Pain, Itachi probably loses to Obito, but I think the most definitive one that you can get away from this video is that Obito should beat Pain. You know, that's the one that me and Loco agree on the most, the most consistently.
Yeah, 100%. Once again, back to like the fucking circle, the balance of power. You know, like I'd still say Obito would still be the strongest because you can make arguments that Obito would still be able to beat Itachi, and of course Obito would still be able to beat Pain. So I'd say it leans in Obito's favor for being the strongest of the Akatsuki, like definitively.
Yeah, and these 3 can beat anyone beneath them. Absolutely.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, and you got to remember, like the Akatsuki are packing heat. You know, they're fighting, you know, some of the strongest people in the Leaf Village easily, and some of them are even fighting Sanin. You know, and these characters are smacking the Sanin probably all at once. If these 3 worked together, they might even be able to beat Madara. And speaking of which, I have a Minato, Nagato, and Itachi versus Madara video up on my channel if you guys want to check that out.
I definitely think if you added like Obito to the mix of that video, like the outcome might be like actually like a lot different, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if it's White Mask
Obito. Dude, we should just do a video on White Mask Obito.
That'd be actually like a good idea, like scaling White Mask Obito and shit like that.
But guys, definitely check out Loco here. We've done a few collabs before. He has some really good videos. Check out his Sanin video and his CBR article. Those things were so good. Put a lot of effort into them. And yeah, definitely check out Loco.
Yeah, especially the Sanin video, because we had the boys on there. I had Catch Dog and Prodigy, the big 3, all in one video, you know. So that one actually like popped off, bro. We were cracking jokes the whole time. It was just a good time overall, you know. So of course, sub to Catch Dog. If you want to check out my channel, you can. But thanks, Catch Dog, for having me on. Appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for watching, and peace.
Peace. Yeah, he is like, he's called the tailed beast without a tail, right? He has like massive amounts of like chakra supplies. He's actually like pretty cracked. It's just he loses like, I'm pretty sure he loses like every fight we see him in, right? Like that's just the only reason why people don't like really think he's all that anymore, because like he just kind of takes L's repeatedly.
I don't know, man. He might be beating up Toby Rama. That's, I mean, like he might be. Jokes.
Well, no, I'm not joking. Toby Rama sucks at. Fucking hell. Conan's beating Toby Rama.
Yeah, Sasori's beating Toby Rama. Hidan might do it, you know.
Kid Sasuke.
Yeah, Kid Gaara.
Fucking hell.
See, that sand tsunami honestly might give Toby Rama a hard time.
He's like, what is this sand? Oh no, my flying Raijin, I'm too slow. Too bad Minato is faster than me. It is.